What's up, everybody? Camille Rose Soler here, founder of The Ultimate Life and inspirational speaker. I wanted to share with you all a story about something I witnessed the other day that not just caught my attention, but also really inspired me. And it's a story of courage. It's a story of doing the right thing, even when it's inconvenient. And it's really a story about love. And so here it is. I was driving to a meeting in Pasadena, California about 3 days ago. And as I was at the stoplight, I noticed this van that pulled out of an In-N-Out drive-thru. So obviously they were very happy after just getting their food. And they made a left turn to get onto the on-ramp of the 210 freeway. But before they got onto the freeway, they actually pulled up next to the island that separated the lanes of traffic from going east and going west. So they were in that middle meridian, if you will, and just stopped there, pulled up next to it, and then turned on their hazard lights. So it caught my attention because I naturally thought, okay, maybe something's wrong. Maybe this person got a flat or there's something in the road, because it's not a place that a car just stops. And then I noticed that the driver opens his door, gets out, steps onto the meridian, and bends down to pick something up. Now, on the right side of their car, the passenger side, the cars that are making a right turn are honking at him, yelling at him to get out of the way, and there's a little bit more chaos going on the right side because of where this van decided to post up. Now, mind you, there are other lanes that the cars making a right can get into, but they just didn't really like that he was parked in such an awkward position. Meanwhile, on the left side, the driver's side of the car, the driver is still bent over picking up whatever he needs to pick up. And as I'm looking to figure out, well, what is it? What is this guy stopping for? It seemed that there was a homeless individual who tipped over from his wheelchair and fell down onto the meridian. So the driver of the van was actually helping this person get back up and regain consciousness, check in if they were okay. And I was actually really like, wow, he took the time to stop and notice even, and then help this guy. And once it looked like he had helped this guy kind of get back into his normal state, he goes back into his car, but instead of driving away, the owner of the van sort of goes through his stuff on the passenger side, takes out the box of his food, another bag, and a drink, and hands it to the homeless individual that he just helped, who was sitting right there in the middle of the island. And from even my distance, I could see the face of this person who was receiving the food, who just received help, and he just beamed with joy and gratitude. It was pretty awesome because I was far away and I couldn't believe I could even see it, but more than that, you could really feel it. Now, meanwhile, on the other side of the car, meaning the right side, the passenger side again, the people in traffic are still honking at him. They're still yelling at him because they don't know what's going on the driver's side. And after he's done helping this man, he gets back into his car, turns off his hazard lights, puts on his blinker, and then slowly gets back and goes on his way. Now, I'm watching all of this and thinking, wow, what a nice guy. That's really awesome. But even beyond that, as I was driving and really thought about it, what impressed me even more was that even when people were honking at him, even when people were yelling at him, telling him to get out of the way, none of that fazed him. It didn't even look like he noticed or heard what was going on. He was just so focused on doing what he thought was right. And in that moment for him, it was helping this guy, making sure he was okay, and then eventually giving him food. And when I thought about that, I was like, wow, how many times are we called to something, want to do something, inspired by something, even drawn to do something that we feel is right, and either one, we don't, because we're afraid that it's inconvenient, it's a weird spot to park, people might yell at me, I don't want to seem off. Or two, We actually do stop and do it, but then when the haters come along and start yelling and honking and screaming, we get nervous and then we react to them. Either way, the gift that this guy gave me through his actions, that he obviously doesn't even know because he just did what was right, was that he calmly, confidently, and without even blinking an eye, focused on what he knew was the right thing to do, focused on the thing that called to him to do, even if it seemed inconvenient for other people, even if other people were yelling at him and saying things to him and telling him to get out of the way. He didn't care, because what they didn't see was what he was doing on the other side of that car. So in the same way, I challenge and encourage you all that if there is something that feels right for you, if there is something that you are called to do, then I hope you decide to pull over and put on your hazards. And that even if people yell at you, scream at you, tell you you are a nuisance or inconvenient to them, that you stay focused on doing what's right for you for two reasons. Number one, it's what you are called to do. And that what others think, what others see is only from their perspective, from where they are in their life. They don't see what's going on the driver's side or on your side of your life. And then secondly, because people like me who are watching you find strength and inspiration from your life and the actions that you take. Obviously, this guy who drove the van didn't know that I was watching, and he probably still doesn't know. But if he happens to be listening right now, then I just wanted to say thank you, because you inspired me. And in that moment, you gave me a gift. You reminded me that even if it seems inconvenient, don't worry about it. Just focus on what you know feels right for you. And then it gave me the opportunity to give you all this story and this gift that I also hope inspires you in some way, or maybe even just gets you thinking on a new train of thought. But either way, you teach by the clarity of your example, and you never know who's watching you. So I hope that for any of you who feel called towards something, who've been wanting to do something, or anything that you know feels right to you, just remember, even if you have haters, even if you have people who are naysayers or just don't support you, just remember that they might be seeing it only from their perspective. And they don't really know what's going on the other side of the car. They can't see things from where you are. So I hope you do it anyway. Because not only are you going to help others by being your fullest sense of you, but you inspire people like me who also want to do the same. So go out there, be kind to one another, do what you feel is right, and don't worry about the people honking at you along the way. Thanks so much for listening, and if this inspired you in any way, I'd love to hear it. Shoot me out an email at Camille, Kamille, at theultimatelife, LYFE.com. Until next time, everyone, live in love.